Okay, so I need to fit a black box into my Fiat 500. What I actually want to do is wire in a extension to the 12 volt socket, which is there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this plug off the end and wire these wires into the back of here. To do that, I've got to take out the center console there. So first of all, you lift out the little rubber mat at the bottom of the cup holder, and you find yourselves with some 10mm bolts. You take them out. You also have to take out the rear cover for the gear handbrake there. Again, in the rear drink holder there, you lift out the rubber tray from the bottom and you're presented with another 10mm bolt, which is down there. It also gives you a good opportunity to get in there and give it a clean. Like, this needs a clean, it's pretty grubby. Look at all that rubbish I just pulled out of behind the handbrake. There's a little plastic cap that goes in there, okay, and then down there's another 10mm bolt. So then you think, okay, well all that will come out, but unfortunately not, because it's all clipped in to your center console here. So unfortunately you've got to lift up the gaiter for the gear selector, which you just prise up from the side. There's 4 tabs, they come out pretty easy, and then that reveals a Phillips headed screw here and one on that side, which I've already removed. And when removing those, you take them out and it should allow you to take off this top bit of center console, which then allows you to take off this bit, which then allows you to take off the bottom bits, which you kind of have to undo with bolts all the way back there. So just to get to your lighter socket, the back of it, you've got to remove all that. So let's crack on. Okay, so there you go, there's the top bit off. Once the 2 Phillips headed screws are out of there, it's just a case of pulling back to clear these tabs, and then these clips at the bottom come out of there. Then this reveals bolt here and here, which need to be removed, and that would seem to give us then a bit of leeway for taking this bit off. So let's crack on there, shall we? Okay, then down on the left hand side in the passenger footwell, as it is in the UK, we have this panel. It has a hex head bolt through here, 2 sprung clips on the back that can just be prized out, and then that reveals this Torx head bolt, which holds the 2 plastic panels together. Just undo this. So in the right hand footwell, driver's side, we have this big panel here, and it has 2 bolts through here and a 3rd smaller screw through here. This reveals then 2 clips that can be prized open, and then finally we have revealed a Torx head bolt here that needs to be undone. Okay, with that final Torx head out, this bit here can now completely come away. So should you need to get to your gear linkage, it's all there, all accessible, and whatever else is in there that you might need access to. And now we can lift up the center console and try and get access to the wire into the back of that 12 volt socket. So with a bit of repositioning, we can now get to the 12 volt socket there, and I can wire in my extension cable. I'm going to take all of this out because it gives me a good opportunity to give all this a good clean. It's always amazing what you find in a car when you start taking it to pieces. A whole pack of cigarettes. Okay, as you can see, all of the plastic trim for the center console is out. Everything has been hoovered, all the air duct in there has been cleaned. All of the underneath of the center console has been hoovered and cleaned out. There was a lot of gunk and sort of evidence of ownership, shall we say, under there. So now you see it's all nice and clean. There you can see the adjustment for the rear handbrake emergency brake. So should you ever need to slacken off your rear drums, you know, when you're changing your drums, there's an adjustment, final adjustment point there, and likewise if you want to tighten it. You see it splits off into two cables that go off to the respective wheels. There you go, you can see all your gear changer mechanism. And then what I was actually trying to do was get to this. This is the power feed for the 12 volt socket, or lighter socket as we commonly refer to them as. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this length of cable, I'm going to attach these wires into the corresponding wires on the back there, run this cable hidden underneath the plastic center console and down underneath this chair here. The whole reason I'm doing this is so as to be able to fit a black box for my daughter's car insurance. So just looking to create an extra 12 volt socket point concealed away underneath the seat there, out of the way. So as I say, there's the plug. Having checked, this is not a permanent live, this is only live when the ignition's on, and there are 3 cables there, and I believe the yellow third cable is for the specs of this car that has an illuminated 12 volt lighter socket. This one, you know, it's got the wiring harness for it. It doesn't actually have the illuminated feature in this particular model, but so we can pick up our 12 volt from there. So I'll get on with that. So I'm discarding the yellow wire as that's only live if the lights are on. I'm using the red and white middle one for my live, and then I'm using the black wire for my common or negative power feed. And then finally I'll remove this brown clip so that I can remove the terminals from the block. So here you can see I've removed the terminal from the block, and this was achieved by you prise up this little white tab here, and that allows you to pull the blade out. And then following that, I've wrapped my new cable around the blade and soldered it into place. Then finally, a bit of electrical tape is wrapped around it, and then of course I do the same for the negative wire too. Okay, so there's all the wiring done, all fitted into and soldered into the back of there. The cable, extension cable, runs off down there, goes under the seat. Then I've attached this double lighter socket to there, and then the black box unit there can just stow away under the seat. We'll tidy all that up in a minute. So now it's just a case of putting all the center console back in. So here you go, here's all the center console pieces. We're going to take a cloth and some cleaning. This is flash cleaning fluid, and we're going to give it a good old clean up. You can see, look, when you get up close, this is all properly grubby. Yeah, we're going to clean all these bits up, and before we reinstall it. It's the only opportunity you're going to get to give it a very good clean. There's all the bits cleaned up, definitely much cleaner. There was a heck of a lot of dirt on the inside of here. This is the bit that goes around the gear lever, and in particular this side panel where there was air vents, and the air vents, yeah, they must have thrown up a lot of dirt out onto that. And there you go, there's the colour of the water, so that will all go back in now. Okay, so back in the car now. First thing to do is put this section of center console back in. So we need to connect the lighter socket plug loom to the back of the lighter socket. So we'll do that. Okay, so that's in position. I won't bolt it in place yet. I'm going to offer in. The next bit to go in was this piece that goes around the gear change there. Okay, that's the middle bit back in. I had a Torx head there, one there. Now we can put one of either of the side panels back on. I'll go for this one. This is the passenger side footwell. Okay, so there's that air vent in, Torx head fitting in there. So that's that side all complete. Now to put in this side. There we go, there's that driver side footwell all in. That was one Torx head there and 2 hex head machine bolts in there and there. That's all nice and secure now. So there we have the 2 10mm hex heads in there, and we can now drop in the rubber cover. That's all done. Now just to put in the 10mm bolt down there. Okay, so that bolt way down there is really deep and it's hard to get the bolt in place. So ideally what you want is the bolt to stay in the end of your in the end of your socket like that, but it almost likely fall out. So if you take a piece of paper, put the piece of paper over the nut and push the paper into the socket head like so, like that. Now the bolt won't fall out, and you should be able to lower the bolt down onto the screw thread. There we go, and it's on. Now for the rear section, and not forgetting the little filler that goes in there before you push the rear section fully in. So there we are, there's that middle section, the rear section all fully in, the 10mm bolt is in place too. And we can now drop in the rubber base, like so. So all that's left to do now is to put this top piece back in and engage the gaiter around there. Okay, so just a little tip for doing these Phillip heads here and here. You just need to position the gear selector in different positions in order to get your screwdriver access to those as appropriate. And then finally it's just a case of putting the gaiter down. Now the back of the gaiter has got asymmetrical positioned clips. So there's a rebate here and here, a sprung clip here and a sprung clip there. So you just need to line up the relevant clips on the back of the gaiter with those positions. So there you are, all back in, all good. Now we have our original 12-volt socket that you can use as required. So for us, we're using a Bluetooth sender like that. So if I engage the ignition, there we go, we've got power to there, and now also the extension box that is all wired in to the back has also got power. So there you go, all that remains to be done is for me to tidy away the 12-volt extension lead there and the black box underneath the passenger seat, so it's all nice and neat and tidy. And yeah, that's it. That's how you would remove your center console from your Fiat 500. That's whether you needed to get access to your gear selector mechanism or to the 12-volt socket like I have, or indeed to get access to your handbrake adjustment point. So thank you once again for watching. Please be sure to like and subscribe and check out some of my other videos. And I shall see you soon. Cheers.